Universal gives its own logo 24 seconds of screen time, despite knowing several other production logos were waiting in line behind it, and stretching our total opening logo time to a whopping 55 seconds.
There has been a war between orcs and humans for as long as can be remembered.
Or as long as it's been since Tolkien created the orcs were blatantly stealing for this game movie. Also narration.
But there was once a time when we did not even know who our enemy was.
Wait, you just said you've been fighting with humans as long as you can remember. So how do you remember the time before that when you didn't even know your enemy?
But in the beginning, how could we have known?
Known what? You've given me 3 statements so far. 2 about knowing, 1 about wondering how you could have known, and already I think I see the problem with this movie. This asshole has a couple of tusk rings, which means the real antagonist here is the scourge of tooth decay. Pregnant wife makes me imagine this couple's gross orc sex, which probably involved the 50 Shades of Warcraft sex manual.
And how will the great Durotan name his son?
I assume she knows it's a son because of some orc magic that goes unexplained. I highly doubt she has access to an ultrasound.
So many clans in one place, Ogren. Laughing Skull, Blackrock.
Expositional time-wasting clan naming. Jesus, movie, John Carter much? Question, why must the portal be 200 feet high in order to walk an army of men no taller than 8 or 9 or maybe 10 feet? Maybe he wouldn't need to wipe out so many races if he made these things more practical.
The fuel for my magic is life.
Any life? Does it have to be terrified, anthropomorphic life? Why not just breed a few million orc mice specifically for portal purposes? Not that I condone wanton mouse murder, just seems like it'd be a lot easier. Or plants even.
The enemy is weak. When we arrive, we will take them as fuel.
Is this Warcraft or a gritty reboot of Monsters, Inc.? Oh, that was all just space travel, I guess? This discount Avatar Guardians of Mars bull is already tired, less than 8 minutes in. Sorry, Duncan Jones, Moon was awesome, and that's the best thing I can say about this Warcraft movie. Main character adult male orc gets in trouble for bringing his pregnant wife on a raid, which is how the movie chooses to show me it has rules or something, but mostly just a way to give our main characters obstacles and antagonists. If this guy knew this rule last night, then give me some scene explaining why he's gonna break the rules to bring her along anyway. But no, last night you gave us hilarious pillow talk about child naming and fat bellies. This answers the question, if a tree falls in the middle of a CGI warp portal, do I get less interested in the movie as a whole? The answer is surprisingly probably. She's going into labor right now? This movie is aggressively annoying.
A new warrior for the Horde.
Looks kinda small. Do you think he can hold one of those big hammers already? Also, let's all forget about how angry we were at him for bringing his pregnant wife on the hunt, and rejoice in this baby that would have been stillborn were it not for the convenient nearby deer in this other dimension of space we just teleported to. Yep, this is a title screen, which means you've learned all you need to know about these creatures in the last 9 minutes, which is, in point of fact, hilariously untrue, but whatever. In case you confused it for someplace real and not ripped off from Lord of the Rings. It's good to see the dwarves thriving in the Lonely Mountain again after cleaning up what must have been catastrophic piles of smog.
It's a boomstick.
Let me guess, you got it at S-Smart. In case you confused it for CGI City number 7. Also, even though you're giving us town names each time we see a new one, you're still not giving me any relative distance, which would greatly help me understand if any of these places are friend or foe. Vulcan Mind Meld, meet your video game counterpart.
Dad?
Son, I told you not to expound in public.
I've sensed something. Dark forces, when it's strong, it almost has a smell.
Fart magic.
Tread carefully, you talk to your queen.
You are my sister first.
These people look nothing alike, and yes, they could be step-siblings, but I feel the way this movie is written, someone would say, yes, I am your sister first, but the blood of my father is different from yours. Also, the last 2 minutes has only been a stone's throw from all these characters just looking into the camera and telling me their relationships to each other. Discount Buckbeak. City manufactured by Rivendell Industries, a subsidiary of Tolko.
Lothar!
Morose.
Jesus Christ, there are so many characters with so many weird names and so many different locales. How can you summon the energy to keep, oh, look, the Martian is on! So, wait, what was I talking about again? And why is my Blu-ray player filled with accidental bullet holes?
Look at you. You haven't aged a bit.
Well, we saw each other last week, so they have bookcases hanging from the ceiling here, which are for 4th-year levitation students only.
Making a golem.
Why not? You've ripped everything else off from those movies. Oh, you meant Gollum. Okay, carry on with not ripping off Lord of the Rings then.
It's good to see you, Lothar. We need your guidance, Medivh.
It sounds like this movie is about to get Medivh on our asses. Also, aw man, they dragged Ben Foster into this
Hello, Guardian?
Later, this chick will tell Khadgar everything he needs to know to win this movie. Just not now, because timing is not this smoky chick's strong suit. Glowing tattoo of detection will factor here, and nowhere else in the movie. After getting thrown around the library and falling from a decent height, this kid remains virtually unscathed.
A magic unlike any other. It feeds on life itself. It pollutes the user, twisting everything it touches. It promises great power, but it exacts a terrible price.
Khadgar made a big deal about how the Guardian needed to explain what this power was, but now that he has, I wonder why that asshole Khadgar couldn't have explained it. I mean, sure, they had to visit this guy, just not to explain this is what I'm saying. Also, you know, just once I'd like to see great power cause absolutely no moral or physical problems. Yeah, sure, let's just transport right into the middle of the throne room. That won't cause any sort of alarm at all.
I exist to protect this realm, my lord. I am the Guardian.
Just in case you were sleeping through that whole summon the Guardian bit from earlier, because like me, you were asleep, here's this. Horse strangling. Horse throwing. Also, only CGI horses were harmed in the making of this film. Confusing battle cliche ex machina. Instead of just clubbing this guy to death, this dude decides to show his amazing strength by throwing him across the forest, which is decidedly less deadly. Orc helm screams. This kind of magic makes me wonder why the orcs are even still around to battle the humans at all. I mean, Jesus, that's Ark of the Covenant level magic. Utterly wasting your stories, dire wolves. I refuse to believe a horse would willingly gallop for a rider 3 times the size and weight of said horse. I'm wondering why Gul'dan brought Paula Patton on this journey, other than the fact that she's Paula Patton. True, she's smart and fierce, but she's a worthless prisoner that impedes travel, and the only reason I can think of to bring her is so that she can help the humans out later. Are the horses in this world made of f***ing iron? Look how far that orc flew! I'm gonna shoulder you unconscious! Serious question, do you think Chris would notice if I stopped watching this and just made up the rest of my sins? Cause while I'm not gonna do that, I bet I could, and he wouldn't notice. That's how stupid this movie is.
Have you a name? Garona. She calls herself Garona.
Okay, cool, but why do you answer the ruler on her behalf with a smile? Also, Discount Gamora is named Garona, because the subtlest differences in copycat movies are the best.
Show me where you come from.
The Sistine Maps. Also, we put a map on our ceiling because we thought that was practical, and also we are not a smart race.
But how did you learn our language?
Or take prisoner for the gate. I learned from them.
So, the prisoners taught you every word of English in this short time you've been in this world?
You have allowed the small teeth to kill your warriors.
You thought this problem ended long ago, but people are still tooth racist. How to cook an orc baby?
You'll be a great chieftain.
How the f*** do you know, lady? He's a goddamn newborn. Maybe he'll be a great horde-denying stir, eh? You don't know. You're just saying you think you should say to make your orc man feel good about his worthless son.
He challenges you already.
Or he's just a baby that makes baby sounds. Garona's cell is perfectly placed for the specific night's moonwatchers. Why is there a centrally located cage in the middle of all these prison cells? Is this one for celebrities?
The voice. Like fire and ash.
Just as this movie is about to explain something, a dickhead opens a gate, and the Guardian turns into an eagle and flies out the skylight that I think is there in order to kill the vampires they keep overnight.
From light comes darkness, and from darkness, light. Well, that's clear.
What's clear is that the person who wrote in this book is also the person who wrote this movie. Also, it's absolute gibberish, even if it's coming from some kind of ancient text. Still gibberish, and factually untrue.
Remember when we would track blood oaks through the Frostwind dunes?
We're 40 minutes in, and we've hardly Warcrafted. They should change the name of this movie to Reminisce Craft.
Wherever Gul'dan works his magic, the land dies.
Durotan is the only orc with the wherewithal to notice that Gul'dan's magic kills the life that surrounds it, even though it's extremely clear that is how it draws its power. The ancient equivalent of texting while driving.
He wishes to lie with me.
Oh, so you're totally blunt about the mage wanting to sleep with you, but when Lothar was obviously looking at you with f***me eyes, you didn't understand what that meant?
The great gate.
Nothing I'm looking at even looks like a gate, let alone a great gate. It mostly looks like Six Flags and Costner's The Postman Apocalypse.
To the north, there is a black rock that touches the sky.
It's okay, you can say mountain. You know all the other words. Damn, Mario is laying waste to this entire map. Also, a movie saves money on the map sequence by incorporating some advanced Civilization game animations. The fact that this is supposed to be a dwarf.
I'm a soldier.
I bet if you cut every line where someone just says what they are, you'd shave a good 20 minutes off this movie's runtime.
Sounds like a trap.
It is not.
Could be.
Lothar is right, yet there are no other objections to this plan, nor does the king build in precautions to their approach even with the strong possibility that this is a trap. The Army of Darkness would have called to get its Necronomicon back, but the line was busy with similar requests from other movies. Hey, Game of Thrones called and they'd like their hyper-realism back. Sorry, I couldn't keep a straight face through that take. My bad. This shot with the volcano in the background? Yeah, some unnecessary Zack Snyder bullshit right there. Durotan told these guys to come when the sun was highest, but I'm guessing the cloud cover made that bullshit way of telling time frustrating. Ben Foster's all like, dude, I had more lines than X-Men The Last Stand, dog.
He says, for orcs, war solves everything.
Even herpes? This guy Jason Bourne's his way through the battle because he's the main character, I think. The main non-human character, at least. I think. Whatever. He somehow has amazing airborne fighting skills and can take on multiple orcs who destroyed a whole world back home. For a short while, which is still way too long, this movie turns into 300. Gotta ask, is there always someone in the middle of a confusing battle watching after a main character so they can ex-mach into the situation? Don't they have their own worries? Roughly too many minutes after the battle started, this guy's powers kick in. I feel like they just took the Empire State Building shot from Independence Day and CGI'd a mountain into this thing and turned the frightened people into orcs.
Hold on, son.
What? And why the f*** can this guy put his hand through this thing? There's some kind of force field between him and his fighting son, and mostly I'm just wondering, what the f*** does he think he's doing?
Take one of my birds.
So these two and the wounded body guy all rode a bird here? F***ing really? Those f***ing eagles.
Do not make me take more innocent lives, young chieftain.
Isn't their entire culture built around taking innocent lives? They literally suck the souls out of people to travel to a new world so they could murder everyone there too.
What will I call her son?
Go well.
These two saved the son naming moment to coincide with the one of the parents is basically being arrested moment.
If love is what you need, you must be willing to travel to the ends of the world to find it.
That, I'll just try Tinder. So the Guardian gives Garona a magic flower, she transports, and then she's talking to Lothar? What the was that about? Yep, they just stole the orc music from Lord of the Rings, just if you're keeping score at home for all the theft going on.
You should have trusted in your chieftain, Orc Doomhammer.
Because Power's Thunder Dick was already taken, I guess. Also, wait, this dude's name is Doomhammer and he's not the chieftain? That's insane!
Wait for me.
I guess I'll just accept that this bird understands English, if only in the interest of saving time.
How dare you return here!
You'd think there would be a guard or an obstacle or two that would keep him from just running into the council's area, but you'd be wrong.
No one beyond the Arch-Council knows of its existence, and it will stay that way.
Why did you even bother taking him in here to see it? Just because he had the page that said Ask Aladai on it? The council thinks this guy is an unforgivable quitter, but that page apparently makes you forget all that.
Do I go in?
Whoa, dude, you just learned about this thing. You're still on the council's list. Why would you go in or be allowed in? But that's exactly what happens.
I used the last of my energies to summon you here.
Does she mean when she opened the portal? Or does she mean when she appeared to him in the library and made his arm tattoo glow so he would pick the right book to find that cryptic message in it? Because either way, that's the worst summoning I've ever witnessed. Is that f***ing Glenn Close? Checking IMDb, typing, holy shit, it is! Literal what the f*** moment right here. As in, what the f*** was Glenn Close thinking? Or what the f*** sum of money did they dump on her driveway to get her to do this? She's listed as uncredited, so it's conceivable she had second thoughts, right? Khadgar decides to trust this woman, even though she has a hint of green on her forehead, and this movie has done a pretty solid job teaching me what Ryan Reynolds already knows. Green glowing is bad.
Always remember, from light comes darkness, and from darkness, light.
So, basically, this whole trip is worthless. All she basically does is tell him, kill the current Guardian, he sucks. And oh yeah, that cryptic-ass line you already read in that book? Remember that, but I'll give you no explanation. Bye-bye. So, Guardian was infected by the Fel, and that's why he allowed orcs into this world? But how did he get affected by the Fel? The problem with this movie is it either thinks it's getting a sequel, and it'll be able to explain everything later, or it introduces ideas that it never intends to explain. Somehow, some way, this orc chick is allowed to visit this dude in his cell. I'd elaborate further, but I'm so f***ing over this movie, I'm trying to save time and be concise. This would never happen. As annoyed as I am at this parent romance, this movie would improve dramatically if we could see a wild thrashing orc versus human sex scene right here. Square prisons made of tree branches. Also, you're telling me this chieftain orc couldn't maul the f*** out of this cell's wall if he wanted to?
It only works on the simple-minded.
Just like some Jedi mind tricks. Man, this movie rips off all the movies, doesn't it?
Where is Medivh? We've got a demon to kill.
Totally not answering the question for drama's sake. Wait, she's not... Is this movie really going to... Holy shit, we've got a blatant Moses ripoff here, people.
Remember, you are the son of Juratan and Draka.
That baby is too young to remember, lady. You're just saying this to pull the audience's heartstrings. F*** off. That baby's all goo-goo gaga nipple right now. Also, this is as good a time as any to mention they're trying to find and kill you and your baby. They're close. You panic. Fine. But how in all is that baby better off on its own than with you? They're gonna find and kill you and then give up looking for the baby? Not realize you obviously sent it downriver? In a universe with logic, your baby is dead 10 minutes after you are. And I just wonder why you don't literally go down defending your baby as opposed to setting it adrift and hoping for the best.
Duratan, your clan was weak and you are a traitor.
You wouldn't believe how much of this movie boils down to political posturing speeches. It's a lot. I did not expect this movie to devolve into a CGI Rocky film, but at the same time, I'm not exactly surprised or anything.
The incantation.
So wait, did Gul'dan need the Guardian to create the portal? Or is it his own death magic that creates it? Because that is something that is never made clear by this movie at all.
Gul'dan cheats!
This screaming fan is correct, but it matters not apparently. Cheating in the orc magic alt-verse will be tolerated. Movie treats Final Battle like it's Helm's Deep or some instead of the Prince Caspian battle crap it really is. Oh yeah, the magical creature made of clay that isn't technically alive but can still battle is useless without its head. That makes perfect sense.
There's something of you still in there, old friend.
The real you is inside there somewhere, cliche. Hey, I know I'm bathing in this evil green liquid here, but I have just enough good guy magic to form a blue shield around you, because the evil magic microbes take their time.
From light comes darkness, and from darkness, light!
Either he needed to be bathing in green magic in order for this to work, which there was no way for him to know, and is lucky as hell if that's the case, or he could have done this at the very beginning of the battle and ended it quicker. Light, darkness, darkness, light spell is a dick to nature. How did he know that? You know what? Forget it. Forget it, I'm done. This movie can go f*** a log. A really f***ing jagged log. Even though there appear to still be a large number of orcs, the humans are still inexplicably winning this fight. So let me get this straight. These orcs who were having zero effect on the portal from the other side are still there? You mean they just knew the portal would go away eventually? I'd have given up after 10 seconds of beating on the magic blue electricity, but these guys decided, just wait, it'll be gone soon. Now the orcs are winning again? Does orc strength rely on who has control of the portal, or is it just a moral thing?
Or killing me will make you a hero. Bring peace between orcs and humans.
How? Just because she kills you and gets to survive because of it? How in the world is she supposed to rise to power to bring harmony between orcs and humans? And why would humans believe your story for that matter? It's not like you told everyone before the battle, hey, if she kills me, don't be mad at her for it. It means I told her to do that. I don't want to stab you in the neck, but I have to, face. Now Lothar will single-handedly defeat the orc army. Did the writers just get drunk and make up this last scene as they went along? Yeah, but why? Why is Lothar not dead yet? Why did they give him a chance to fight for his freedom? They owe this guy nothing. Yep, he went for the nuts. The dirtiest fighting move in any time period, fictional or otherwise. But on the plus side, it brings us much closer to this thing ending. Movie is open-ended, and unfortunately this movie made decent money overseas, which means we might have another one of these f***ing things. Damn you, foreign box office. Fucking weeks later, this baby is still totally alive and shit, still floating down this river, and you know what? I'm fucking out, dude. Peace.
Expecto Patronum!
Finish him!
Soon, Master Elf, you will enjoy the fabled hospitality of the dwarves.
Hello, I'm Peter. Where are you from, originally?
You don't own me. Don't try to change me.
Remember when we would track blood dogs through the Frostwind dunes?
I used to bullseye womp rats in my T-16 back home. They're not much bigger than 2 meters.
Hush now, my baby. Be still, love. Don't cry.